What is good, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a post-commentary point of view duel video here. And today, guys, your boy has moved on from the element of fire to the element of water. We're playing Mermails, and I just went to this locals knowing one combo, that being like the Moulin Rip. So a lot of it's me like freestyling, not knowing. I plan to put Coelacanth in the hand there. But that's okay, because even if you see Coelacanth, you can like Monster Reborn it with the Abyss Sprite, XYZ. It's kind of wild, but I decided to like move on. This deck really, truly reminds me of what like Isolde Infernobles could do. And maybe that's just like, that's it, you know, they're pretty much like two sides of the same coin. But yeah, I enjoy decks like this. Mermail's always been on my list because it's very like combo-eccentric, very like linear path. Like, yes, you have freestyle, you have linear combos you can follow, but then there's freestyle points of it to where like you play through stuff. But one of the craziest things I like about the deck is the hand-ripping potential and the hand knowledge. I know, unpopular opinion, some people are like, you should not know what's in your opponent's hands. And then like, I agree with that, but then like, I also disagree. I think like if you're able to play 30 plus hand traps and have 1/1 card starters, like it's fair for my deck to be able to look at your hand and pick one of those hand traps out, and then like I have to play underneath the other hand traps in your hand, right? But that's why I really like this deck, and why this deck really reminds me of Infernobles was because with Isolde, excuse me, you were able to look at the hand, see the hand, construct your board depending on the hand, and if they open more hand traps, you have to construct your board underneath those hand traps, so it actually like lets like more skillful players shine. Because, like, this deck is, like, I'm 100%, guys, like, Mermail is a deck, like, no Yahoo could just pick up and play. Like, no Yahoo could pick up and just run with it. Like, you would just spin your wheels and, like, accomplish nothing. So, and actually, there's actually a point to where, like, I miss, like, as you guys can see, like, Abyss Shrine sitting Coelacanth, so, like, Coelacanth's in the graveyard. So, like, I'm going to have the ability to eventually, like, bring that out and, like, combo further, but, like, it's just, there's so much stuff going on. You get really tunnel vision in this deck, but I feel like there's, like, some major tunnel vision in the sense of you're trying to Moulin Glacia, you're trying to Coelacanth, but I don't know. I just, like I said, this is pretty much a, like, my bit list right now really does have, it's, like, trading wheels on right now. I don't know if you, I know some people are like, you have to play 3 Abyss Pikes if you're playing Coelacanth, but I saw, like, some other YouTubers say, like, hey, like, you don't have to, you could cut Abyss Spike down to 2 if you wanted, but I don't agree with it. But here we go, we're doing Diva, looking at the hand. He doesn't have nothing, like nothing in his hand bothers me, so now it's like, okay, well, we're just gonna start ripping engine. So I should in fact hit the Metaltronus. I should hit that card, and then I can start getting like the cross, his starters and stuff. I should hit that card. Like, I see this now, but maybe I don't. Like, that's the correct route. This is where like you get kind of crazy. So like I'm gonna be able to look at his hand. So no, and I hit Magnamut. Actually, that's not a bad hit either. Magnamut does nothing against this deck. Like, it's a useless card in his hand, so like I'd rather hit something better. You know what I mean? So I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or no, 6. Excuse me, 6 cards. But I'm able to go use the Abyss Triana here, which is, I guess, some people opt not to play this equip spell, which is a Monster Reborn. But like, I don't know. I like it. I think it allows, like, again, maybe it's just my like playing of the deck. You know, like I'm not too great, but we have 5 waters in the grave. So I get to rip these 2 cards there. So this was pretty good because that means he just has really good cards. So we're just rolling here. Randomly, I could have just picked just to make it quick, but we have Ice and Metaltronus, I believe, so that means he still has Prayers along with Cross in his hand. But that's okay. Our board's going to hopefully be good enough here. So I think right now we attempt to go... and see, like, another thing about this deck, you have to have, like, a lot of your cards discard for cost. Like the Shadow Squad here, discard, and then like Poseidon discards and stuff like that. But my idea is, I'm like, I need to get Moulin Glacia, you know, off the field without it being sent, so I can still get a battle phase. And I go here for Abyss Shrite here. Yep, and this card could reborn Coelacanth too. Like, remember that. This guy could reborn Coelacanth, and then like I could overlay for like Abyss YuGiOh, go into Poseidon, climb up. But no, I don't know if I'd have enough space for Poseidon. Poseidon is an interesting card. It's a soul charge, but it has to summon exactly 3. At least that's what I think it says. It has to summon exactly 3. So if you like kind of like get too crazy. But anyway, we use the Sprite to reborn back out the Dragoons. We go ahead and we go into our Cyverse, you know, our Marine Cess Coral Anemone here. I think it's Coral Anemone. Yeah, go into the Marine Cess. Being able to use this card to Monster Reborn. But see, that's the thing is, like, I don't know if I have any card in the graveyard to Monster Reborn. That I can grab. Maybe I do? Yeah, I have to have something. So I think I go into Poseidon. Yeah, I don't think I have like a suitable target to Reborn. Even though I probably should have just used the Reborn. I should have used the Reborn, bring back Shadow Squad at least to get the body. And then I could have Reborn. No, I normal summon. Okay. All right. That's okay, I guess. Detach. Gonna summon out Toad. I should have 3. Yeah, I should have 3 spots to bring back. Yeah, and this is where like you could like go into Trishula, which is kind of wild. So I'm able to get like the Poseidra to have like a card discard here, but like this is where I do kind of mess up. I guess kind of right. So like I exhaust my hand, but like Toad will be able to recur me something if we get to that, right? Toad can add me back a card. We go into the, and I misplaced here. I don't know why I didn't put it over, but instead, so we discard here to Reborn 3, level 3 or lower fishes. So we summon back out our, I think we're going to put back that, which it's not that important, right? Like I don't understand why I like streamlined this. But it's, I mean, like, it is okay, I guess, in the hindsight. This makes me kind of wish I was playing Trishula, because then, like, I could rip one more card from the hand and then, like, link into a Bisslacia. But it is what it is. The extract is still, like, a learning process, especially in this locals for me. But, because I'm trying to think, like, what was my, like... Now looking at it, I could have gone into... I could have linked into Alacia, used Squad and Bahamut into Alacia, Synchro into the level 6... Or maybe I do make Trishula here. Oh boy, I do. Yeah, I am playing Trishula this locals. Okay. So I'd make Trishula, and we just go and banish the ice and banish one random card from. So we literally hand looped him for like... Yeah, wow, that was kind of crazy. Just odd even. And then I linked this over. So I guess arguably I could have also gone into the Porpoise. Linked into Alacia, gone the Porpoise. Porpoise, bring back 1, bring back 2, make another Toad. And yeah, that would have been double Toad underneath with Alacia. So that's pretty wild. So he gets back the Bahamut, which is just useless for him. Like, he's not going to be able to use the Bahamut at all. Not the Bahamut. He gets back the Magnum Bud, excuse me, which he's not going to be able to use at all. So, like, my Toad can negate something, add something back, and I can start discarding and getting, like, more disruptions. Because I think Poseidra is in the graveyard. Even if it's not, I'll have access. I could have access to get to Poseidra, which is kind of cool. But Toad to go ahead and take, and then... We go ahead and set effective Toad to go ahead and add back. I think I add back Prince. So that way I can pitch and search. And then right here, yeah, so we just wrapped it up. Right here, I think the king should be able to trigger, but it's all right. We go into that all-important game number 2. We take it here. I open up Nib. It looks like a Nib and Impulse. Okay, so that's pretty good. And I have Shrine, Prince, everything like that. So yeah, my hand's kind of goated, man. Pretty good hand. A lot of my guys in my locals don't think this deck can go second, but like I truly don't. Like, yeah, the deck can go second, man. Like Poseidra existing, the main deck Poseidra, then like the extra deck Poseidra, like being able to shuffle cards back, and then like, yeah, like this deck can go second. It definitely wants to go first more often than not, but like, yeah, I still think I might add Megalo in. I didn't, like, I actually thought I was playing Trishula, because I think I updated it, because like there was like one time in this locals, like I think round 3, the person didn't want to be recorded, so round 3 it came up to where I needed the Synchro 10, and I think I opted out of not playing the Synchro 10. Instead I was playing like the Narwhal, which is just, I forget his name, it's White Award Narwhal, that's what I'm going to call it. It just reborns a fish, and it's not a tuner, level 7 non-tuner. And then I was playing Diva because I side into the barrier statue. But we're going to see him get to go first here. Essentially, he can potentially walk into this Nib, but I think the game plan, right, is like, so it's Mitsurugi Ryzeal. So like what you want to do is you want to use your Dominus Impulse to go ahead and hit the ritual spell, keeping them off of the rituals, and then you nib them. Because what sucks is when they get the rituals out and you end up nibbing them, and then like they just get their rituals back. Like, yeah, they can activate the big snake that allows you, like, it makes you have to discard, but you just discard nib, right? And then like it tributes the whole board for free. You don't get a token. They don't get a token, but like they still get their like big old snakes come back. But yeah, this man Sebastian, he's been on this deck for quite a while now, learning it and stuff like that. We're preparing for a regional, I think, in April, and I got a regional coming up in March, and I think Mermail is what I'm gonna take. I have Blue Eyes too, but I'm not a big fan of Blue Eyes, man. Like Blue Eyes, I like it. Excuse me, I take that back. I actually am a huge fan of Blue Eyes. It's not my type of deck that I want to like devote. Like I want to have it on like the side to play and stuff like that. But yep, we see him doing some Ryzeal stuff. Again, kind of wild, man. Like when you look at decks and stuff like that, like why is like a deck like Ashen made and it be like so sucky and so restrictive, but then like Ryzeal exists, and Ryzeal, like every video, man, I know every video that I end up doing commentating over and Ryzeal gets brought in, I'm like, ooh, Ryzeal. Ryzeal should not exist. I hate Ryzeal. And it's what's crazy, man, is I feel like Ryzeal is that you have a better matchup against Ryzeal than like you do like Malice. But like the thing with Malice is like I feel like Malice is like a more fair combo deck, and the fact that it has literally hard restrictions that like lock you into something, whereas Ryzeal doesn't lock you into really anything. And someone's going to be like, oh, well, they are technically like 2 restrictions, but man, you play around those 2 restrictions like super easy, as you can see here. So he goes into King of the Pharaohs, but I decided to go ahead and launch the nib here to keep him off from adding. So this is like the first thing here. So he's already committed like so many bodies. I was like, okay, so if I can keep him off here, we should be okay. Right? So then he goes talents, and I'm like, oh, shoot, talents. I always get punished by this dude. Always has talents, man. Like, always. It never fails. Like, in fact, we can go watch every single one of my duel videos, man, and my point of views, and he always has talents. Like, it's like the man, like, if his secret skill is have talents. Have talents will travel. But we're just calculating the attack of the token here. I guess when he drew, he didn't draw too well, I guess. Oh, but I guess so like, we're just calculating the token. My hand's pretty good, but so we draw another Dominus. I'm like, oh, great. So, wow. So maybe I should have held out just a little bit longer and used Dominus first, just because like I wouldn't have fell victim to talents, but I didn't want to risk him getting that far. But like in hindsight, 2020, now I see it like, so what if he would have searched off? I just prevent the ritual spell. Like the whole game plan was prevent the ritual spell. So we go ahead, normal Prince, we activate Prince's effect to send for cost. I think we send, I'm trying to think, like, do we send the Shadow Squad? Because, like, I know, like, Shadow, like, the main streamline is, like, Prince send Shadow Squad, add Dragoons. But, like, I also know that, like, the old school Atlantean combos was, like, Prince send Dragoons, add Dragoons, Dragoons, search and add. And I know, like, that line, or that, like, pivot of play still can come up, especially if you already have access to, like, Squad some way, whether you have the ability to, like, use Shrine in your hand, and with Shrine and Squad already, but just explain to him what it does. So we go ahead and effect to do it. He ashes the Prince. I'm like, okay, well then Shadow Squad effect to go ahead and summon from the deck. Because it was sent for cost, he's going to strike. I'm like, okay, you know, solemn strike. Solid. All right, well, I was like, all right, so we have Shrine to follow up with. And I think it's Shrine and the Abyss Pike. So arguably, I think, I don't know what the line is here. I goof, I think, in a way, but I don't know if I do. We go Shrine, pitch to go ahead and summon from the deck. And I think, you know, Coelacanth is the target. We'll summon out Coelacanth. And he goes ahead, and I think he flips over a second strike on the Shrine. Yeah, so he strikes this, which is good. It's, like, decent, right? So then we go ahead and use Prince's effect to go ahead and Monster Reborn. I Reborn out the Shadow Squad. And I didn't reach Shadow Squad fully until, like, right now. And I'm like, oh, it just turns all waters into level 7. So I was like, oh, Dukes. And I already committed my normal summon to the Prince, which makes me wonder if maybe the line was not to do that. And maybe it was to start out with the Abyss Pike. But, like, looking at my hand, like, yeah, like, no, that wasn't Abyss Pike, normal summon Pike, pitch that, attempt to summon from... I think the outcome still happens the same. Right? Like, the outcome would still happen, and I wouldn't get any... Yeah, I don't think I'd get any benefit from doing the Pike, you know, starting with Pike over Prince. Just having double strike here is, like, really puts us on, like, some primitive Yu-Gi-Oh! I decided to switch that nib to a defense because he has the bigger token. I should hold Dominus Impulse here. I don't know why I decide not to. And see, that's a total, like, come on, Charles. What are you doing, man? Dominus Impulse ain't imperm. Like, you can have it. But he activates Cross. Can't stop it. Cross is going to shuffle back 2 and draw a card. And, like, yeah, just can't do anything about it, man. Go ahead and cut. Let him go ahead and draw his card. Like I said, Impulse, now it's like, okay, well, now I just hold for the ritual, right? So he goes in. I think that's, I think that's the ritual. So we go ahead and Impulse there. You know, go ahead. So that's what we should have done probably instead of doing this nib thing here. But, like, again, I don't know. I couldn't confirm with you if he drew into, like, double strike or if he did. So he switches the token. If it does twisting of the dice there, we didn't have a token. And he smacks into the Shadow Squad, which is a correct call. You don't want to leave Shadow Squad out because literally if Shadow Squad stays, I normal summon, activate Shadow Squad's effect. Then I get 2 level 7s, and then, like, Poseidra touches down. And Poseidra's going to shuffle things back. We do have a quick ruling question here. We have some fiend on that Dream deck. Not Dream, that one deck that banishes a bunch of stuff. It's a Pendulum deck. So anyway, we're just going to pass it up here. So I think, to go Shrine here, which I was like, oh, maybe this is the way. Because I don't have a water in hand regardless. So I go Shrine, pitch to draw, and I draw into Imperm, which I'm like, well, that's okay. That gives me 1 card deeper. So We go ahead and draw for turn. I draw into Abyss Teus, and I'm like, oh, man. Teus without discard is just kind of brutal. So I decide to set 2 and pass. Hoping all I need is a water. If I can get into any water, I can potentially get going. Cross, going to be able to, you know, shuffle back 2, which keeps, you know, the grind going. So that means he's going to get 2 cards essentially every turn as long as he... But he's going to eventually run out of Ryzeal, right? So, like, he's going to eventually not get crossed. But hopefully by the time he's drawn, you know, 4 cards, 5 cards by the time that happens, he should be able to, like, combo off and, like, do some crazy things. But I do have a Purge and a Perm set. Yeah, I almost totally forgot space, but I have Perm and Purge set. So then, let's see here. Goodness, I'm trying to even... I mean, just as a big token, man, and as long as I can get a water, I should be okay. Like, that's literally it. I draw into a water, which, like, literally 40-some cards in my deck is literally water cards, man. So, like, I should be able to get into water to get to Teus, and then I should hopefully be able to go off there. And it even gets better, man. Like, if any of the waters happen to be, like, Prince or Dragoons or Shadow Squad or, like truly, like, there's some pretty good water targets I could draw into to pitch off a Teus to get me going here. But, yeah, I don't know what he decides to do here. That token's huge. Maybe he didn't draw any good, but, like, he can potentially fire off a Ritual again. Let's see here. I know he's just thinking on what he's just thinking. So he just goes battle phase, whacks over Nib. I'm like, okay, well, Nib's done his duty. Just pray to Raw Obelisk and Slifer that I rip a water, and we should be good here. Because it seems like, I think I remember him saying, like, he didn't have much of anything. But it's just, again, like, we're both in this, like, weird scenario where we don't have nothing, and it's the first one to get to engine, and I'm, like, halfway to an engine. Like, I got the card, but I don't got the key. And he's just trying to figure out if there's anything he can do, which I understand, man. Like, if you're trying to, like, be competitive and stuff, you gotta, like, definitely take the time to look through all your avenues. It'd really suck, like, if he had something, like, he could do with the token and end up putting up at least some form of disruption, so, like, he doesn't lose right here to a draw, and I draw into another Impulse, which is just wild, again. So, like, I have double Impulse and an Imperm set, and I don't even think, like, that's gonna be enough to do it. So, again, he normal summons the Mitsurugi. That one lets him add a spell or trap, which gets him into prayers or I think the ritual spell. I can get him into either or. And then, like... Oh, man, like, getting into either one of those is just brutal because, like, that card allows you to dodge things. That card lets you tribute. Then when they're tributed, they do stuff. So, yeah, I'm really hoping that the Mitsurugi stuff gets some good stuff for this next set, man, because, like, they seem to have been doing it a lot, minus, like, what they did with Ashen. Ashen, it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, man, because, like, that deck was based off of Dark Souls, and they literally just botched that deck. They had the ability to make that deck decent and good, and Konami, whoever does, like, the designs for, like, the TCG exclusives, just botched it. And that's so infuriating, especially a deck designed around such a, like, fan favorite, like, series and stuff. So, like, we're going to see him go into... I can't tell what that one is. I think it's Duo Drive? No, I think it's Detonator. I think just hard flat made... No, Detonator takes Ryzeal. No, Detonator Detonator takes Ryzeals. He goes into, I think that's, not Detonator, the other one. Duo Drive. But he goes ahead and he fires off that, Ritual spell. We just fire off the Impulse here. Does Detonator just take any level 4s? Is that truly? I think that's what that is. That's Detonator and Detonator. I think that's why we scoop it up here very soon, because Detonator just checks everything. Is Detonator that crazy that it doesn't take a... No, it takes Ryzeal, so that's a misplay. I think if that was Detonator, that was a misplay. He couldn't have made Detonator there. But, like, he had the token and everything still, so I get to go first. I draw into Prince, Coelacanth. There you go. So two games in a row, man. I open Coelacanth. But we open Prince, which Prince being able to dump for cost is still pretty good. So we're going to go Prince effect to go ahead and send we're going to send the Shadow Squad to add, and I believe... What are we adding? Do we go for... Let's see. I think we go for Spirit here. Yeah, just to play around Droll. Or do I get Poseidra? Do I just, like, not respect Droll? Or maybe it's because I think I have Coelacanth that I don't respect Droll. Why? Like, I don't understand, like, Poseidon. Okay. All right. We go for Poseidra. We go Shadow Squad effect to go and summon from the deck. We're going to summon out that there. Then we're going to go ahead and go effect. I think it's because I guessed Tunnel Vision to getting rid of this Dragoons here. So we go ahead and go effect of Pike to go ahead and pitch Dragoons to add a Spirit. Spirit, and then like then we're just off to the races. Oh no, I had Minstrel? No, I had Spirit, and then Dragoon's Effect to go ahead and add a Sea Serpent, which I add the Deep Sea. Yeah, and then I can just Coelacanth. Yeah, I just use Diva with the Coelacanth I opened to go ahead and look at the hand. Yeah, I should 100% Minstrel here first, I think. Do I Minstrel first here? Minstrel... Or no, do I Shrine first? Shrine to go ahead and summon... Oh, okay. To go ahead and add or summon a level 7. Since I opened Coelacanth, I can't do it. Oh, I can't do Coelacanth, so I just go ahead and add Teus to hand. That's a very interesting that Teus was made Aqua. So right here, I think he decides to hit me with the... Moltrami lets him reborn cards. So he goes and gets one draw here. I'm not super worried, because that seems to be the only thing he's got. So unless this draw is something like crazy. But we go and detach to go ahead and add... summon out Toad to go and get Toad protection. Once we're insulated with the Toad, like, we're pretty good. And let's see here. We're going to go and add Molinglacy, I believe, to go ahead and rip these. To kind of, like, go ahead and put them down on 2 cards? Or do I, like, goof here? I can't remember. No, we go Teus. Pitch Coelacanth, summon Teus. Summon Teus Effect to go and add. Then we can summon out Molinglacy, ripping him down 2 cards. And that gives us, like, essentially 2 more free summons to do. Because, arguably, man, maybe I should have just passed. Like, was that, like, not even passed, but, like, I think there had been a way I could have done something different. So I go and special summon out Molinglacy, I get to rip 2 cards from his hand. Maybe that was rip Nib. Oh, he had Nib, too. Oh, boy. Maybe, then do I do a Minstrel to go ahead and look at the hand? Maybe I should just go ahead and link up into... Maybe this wasn't the line. Maybe I link up into an enemy reborn. See, man, tactics again. I told you, this man always has tactics. It's literally redonkulous. So I think I put back tactics. So now he has 2 cards in hand. I'm going to be able to... If I go into an enemy we bring back, I'm going to probably give him another draw, which is okay. So he'll get 1 more draw. And then I have double Imperm too, so like, I'm sitting pretty well. I was thinking, I was like, oh, I can go up into Poseidra and Poseidra to do stuff, but I was like, oh no, maybe Poseidra is not the way. Do I discard a Imperm here? No, I discard the Poseidra to go and get to the graveyard. That's kind of crazy. Like, the Poseidra is such an insane card to get into rotation, because then it's like a disruption on its own, which is pretty wild. I think, do I go into Shrine? I think I got to, man. I think I go into Shrine. Maybe the call was just make YuGiOh here pass. And I was just verifying. I was like, will it draw if I make Poseidra? Will it draw 3 cards off of Poseidra, or would it like only draw 1? And I think, yeah, it says that it would draw 3 cards. And I was like, yeah, I don't need him drawing 3 goddamn cards, especially if I get hit with like Imperm Nib. Another, that's just kind of wild. So I think I need to make Shrine Reborn, give him 1 more card. Well, see, Shrine could be back Coelacanth. Yo, yeah, so Shrine could have brought back Coelacanth, summoned a bunch of cards from the deck, and then I could have, like, then I could have made another Bahamut and stuff like that. That'd be actually kind of crazy. Let's see if I actually follow through with it. Effective Shrine Reborn. I do it. Yes, I bring back Coelacanth. He gets a draw. What's cool is, like, Coelacanth can protect itself. So now I think I link up into the Prince, and I should 100% put Prince over top of Coelacanth. That's what I should do. I should put Prince over Coelacanth. Come on, Charles. Yes. All right, we do it. Yeah, so we put it over Coelacanth, discard, so he cannot target Coelacanth, protect it, but he ashes it. But I go ahead and just toad it. But now, if he has another Nib, I get kind of hosed here. But I was like, you better have it. Put it on God. On God. Better have that other Nib, man. And I have to summon out as many as possible, so I summon out the Gluttonous and 2 Spikes, and then Toad Effect to go ahead and add back... do we add back Prince? Maybe Prince is the card to add back. So he's Ash, so I don't have to worry about Ash, and I already ripped it in... yeah, so essentially I've got like 3 hand traps out of him right here. So now I just kind of got to... I'm like, anything in resolution, no. That pretty much tells me he doesn't have Nib, because like, why wouldn't you just Nib here? So I go here, and if he doesn't Nib me here, he doesn't have it, right? So I go on into this right here, and then effect of the Prince to go ahead and grab me. Oh, we grab the equip spell, and then it's like we could go equip spell, reborn a 4, synchro into... Yeah, we could synchro into Diva, even though we're... Oh no, whoa, my god. Like, just the lines, dude. I'm just like Sleeve of Mace. Like, we can like synchro right here. We could synchro just to a 10 and pass. Or we could just like Reborn, go into a 7, we go into Diva. Diva and Bahamut link into... So he gets another draw. And, or do I go ahead and synchro into Diva. I could go Diva... So I can Diva put back the Talents. But that's scary, dude. Talents is a scary card. Knowing he has it in like a handful of cards. See, I was contemplating there. I was like, do I just synchro off to put back it so he doesn't have Talents? I was like, is that a lot? Is that like what I do? But I think this right here is the best thing here. I go ahead and shuffle. I return the Talents to hand. And I get to summon out the... Summon out... Oh god, Barrier Statue. Yeah, so summon out Barrier Statue. And then now he can't special summon. It kind of locks him out. This is a very... So here's my opinion, man. This is very toxic, right? But I had to play through multiple hand traps to get here. And I got to, like, rip cards from the hand and stuff. But, like, he literally, like, drew... Like, you know what I'm talking about? He had so many hand traps to do stuff. And, like, without the Barrier Statue, like, it's almost like he could... He very well could out the board with just Ryzeal X. Like, really could just out the board. It feels like... No, it couldn't. It couldn't really out the board because of, like, the king up there saying can't target stuff. So I'm just explaining to him what I have. I'm like, hey, so I have this. I also have the ability to, like, Spirit and, like, discard card, which is actually kind of nice because it's going to allow me to, like, essentially protect the Barrier Statue here. Because, like, I can pinch the Prince, bring back Poseidon, target bounce as soon as he commits a normal summon, and then we're pretty good. So he's attempting to go Bonfire. I'm like, you know what? I know you have Talents, so whatever you add is okay because you can't special summon, like, X. So, like, I'm okay. Like, I don't need to fire off this Toad yet. Hopefully I don't have to fire it off, period. Hopefully out of all the cards he drew, he didn't draw any, like, board breakers or anything like that. So I think then this follows up with a normal summon. And what's crazy is the statue's pretty big. So he normal summons this Mitsurugi. This is the one that if it's tributed, I believe he can add back from graveyard, but he attempts to go battle phase. And I'm like, you know what? Actually, yeah, battle phase is good because once he goes into battle phase, I can, like, solve this card and then I make it to where I keep the Toad and Talents isn't live. And he's already normal summoned, so, like, I'm just... So, yep, we go here. Oh, actually, we don't even use Shrine. We use Abyssalacia because it says during the opponent's turn. And we're still in the opponent's turn to go ahead and search. I think we go ahead and search Teus. Then Prince triggers. Prince brings back Poseidra. Poseidra will target, dump for cost to give me a lot of resources. We dump Dragoons to bounce back. Dragoon's effect to go ahead and search us. I think we go ahead and grab another Prince, so that way we can, like, you know, Teus Prince Reborn something. But yeah, that's pretty much, like, I think that's going to wrap it all up, man. Like, I'm sitting pretty solid. I can overlay to YuGiOh. Then, like, YuGiOh can, like, shuffle back and, like, do... Not YuGiOh, but, like, I was thinking I could detach the Prima Donna and shuffle something back. But yeah, like, this is setting pretty well. Being able to, like, manage that triple T. And that's, like, the skill, dude. The skill level. Like, thank goodness I remembered. Yeah, triple Talents. So that way I could remember. So he goes and activates Cross. And I'm like, yep, Cross is good. I'm not going to fire off. Like, what Cross ain't doing nothing. You've already normal summon. He attempts to fire off Talents. I'm like, sorry. That was during the battle phase. I didn't activate anything. The main phase. He's like, yep. And then he's like, well, with that, like, that pretty much wraps it up. So yeah, if you guys enjoy this type of content, please remember to hit subscribe. You know, stay tuned for more content. But stay safe, stay healthy. This is Charles signing out.